Before I jump into Premiere or FACEIT, I always want to warm up. Not to grind mechanics, not to chase scores, but to make sure my aim, movement and confidence are actually ready. So I thought I'd share my exact CS2 warm-up routine. Welcome back to today's episode of Road to FACEIT. This episode's a little bit different. Instead of focusing on the actual matches or progress, I want to show you how I prepare to play. It's not going to be a 2-hour pro routine, and it's definitely not perfect. It's a realistic warm-up that I use before every CS2 session, whether I'm playing Premiere, FACEIT, or even just practicing. Because CS is about muscle memory a lot of the time, it's often very important just to get yourself into the feel of what exactly you're going to be doing. So that's why I recommend doing a warm-up session, and that's why I like to do it myself. The first thing I like to do is what's called aim activation. It's not aim training, there is a difference. I'm not trying to hit high scores or push limits here, I just want my hand and brain to wake up. You know, trying to get the blood flow in, get my reactions to be on point and all that kind of thing. I typically spend about 5 minutes or so in a workshop map just popping heads on bots and things like that. You know, working on flicks, micro adjustments, getting comfortable with my mouse, all that kind of stuff. If my aim feels shaky here, it's a sure sign that I'm not ready to play yet, and that's fine. I'll just take it easy, do a little bit more. This part is more about feeling rather than performance. Next, what I like to do is jump into a quick deathmatch or some of the modes on refrag. I like to keep this short, typically 5 to 10 minutes maximum. The focus here is crosshair placement and first bullet accuracy. It's not spraying practice and I'm not chasing kills, but I like to take clean controlled fights and make sure that I can actually perform. If I'm missing easy shots or rushing my aim, I tend to stay here a little bit longer. This really helps to bridge the gap between pure aim and real CS fights. One thing that I have found particularly useful on refrag is the coach routine that they build for you. So this is based off of your previous performance and where you might be stronger or weaker, and it kind of targets those areas. I tend to lean towards this rather than deathmatch because there's nothing worse than when you're just trying to warm up and someone's been grinding deathmatch for hours and you just keep getting spawn killed over and over. There's no point starting a game session without, you know, the right mentality, and getting killed over and over just does not work for me. So a big part that a lot of people skip is movement. Counter-Strike isn't just about aiming well, it's about stopping correctly as well before you shoot. I spend a few minutes practicing counter-strafing, peeks and movement drills. Things like wide peeks, shoulder peeks and stopping cleanly before firing. When the movement feels right, everything else feels so much easier. Aim, timing, confidence. If I feel that my movement's off, I know I'm not fully warmed up yet. Generally I use one of the workshop maps for this, which I'll put the link to that in the description so you can check it out, but you're probably familiar with it already. The final part of my warm-up is Prefire practice. This is probably my favourite step because it gets my brain into the real fight mode. I tend to use workshop maps or refrag's Prefire trainer and focus on common angles and timings. I'm not rushing through this, I'm generally just visualising where enemies should be and taking clean duels. This helps to build confidence more than anything else. When I load into a match after this, fights feel familiar instead of chaotic. What I also find helpful here is again refrag. I know it sounds like a sponsored section, but it really isn't. They've got a mode on there that's called clutch, so you're in a position where you need to clutch around. The bots kind of appear randomly, which is quite helpful because people don't always come from the same places. Also the defender mode, which is sort of the alternate, so you're retaking or defending a site. And again, this just helps me get into the mindset of being ready to play a game. If I'm short on time, I do a quick version of this, usually about 10 minutes in total. Aim activation, shoot a few bots, maybe a little bit of pre-fire. But generally, I make sure that I've got the time to run the full routine. The most important thing isn't how long you warm up, it is being consistent. Even a short warm up is better than just jumping in cold. So, that's my CS2 warm-up routine. Simple, repeatable and realistic. If you do something different or think I should add something, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking to improve this, just like everything I do in CS. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Road to FACEIT.